the angle between this inclined line and this horizontal line will be equal to 30 degree. We can see the taper angle, that is the angle with respect to this horizontal line, will be equal to 30 degree. Similarly, we have to draw the line on the left hand side also at an angle of 30 degree with respect to horizontal. So now I am deleting this line. Now from this point I will draw a line up till this point. So finally we have shown the taper, which will be the impression left by the drill tool after drilling the hole. Now we will show the major diameter of the thread. Now here the major diameter is equal to 6 mm. So in order to show the major diameter from the center, that is from this center line, we will take a distance of 3 mm on the left hand side, and this length will be equal to 16 mm, and the major diameter is again equal to 6 mm, and again the height will be equal to 16 mm. So you can see here these two lines, inside two lines represent the minor diameter of the thread, the outside two lines will represent the major diameter of the thread. Now the major diameter of the thread will be equal to 6 mm. Now you can see I am giving a dimension. The major dimension or the major diameter is equal to 6 mm, whereas the minor diameter of the thread is equal to 4 mm. So these two outer lines represent the major diameter of the thread as 6 mm, whereas the two lines which are in the inside, will represent the minor diameter of the thread with diameter as 4 mm, whereas the total height of the threaded part will be equal to 16 mm. We have already given the height. You can see here the height of the threaded part is equal to 16 mm. So finally we have completed the front view of the locating peg with internal threading on the upper side for inserting the stud and internal threading on the lower side for inserting the cap screw. Now I am deleting this inside dimensions as we have to show the section lines here. Now this entire part is a solid part. Now this part and this part here below are hollow, but this part is what a solid part. So in a solid part we have to show the section lines as we are drawing the sectional front view. So we will show the hatching lines inside the solid part. So this is the sectional front view of the second part, that is the locating peg. Now I will give you a name. Our second part is nothing but locating peg, part number 2. So this was our part number 2, and this was the front view, sectional front view. So I'm writing here front view. So this is the sectional front view of the part number 2, that is the locating peg. We will give the diameters later on. Now we will draw the top view of this locating peg. We can give some dimension here. If so, the diameter of this part from here to here is equal to 76. So we will give the diameter as 76. Then the diameter of this upper part from here to here, okay, I will delete this dimension, we can give it inside. The diameter of this upper part from here to here is equal to 64. So we will insert diameter symbol, so diameter is equal to 64, whereas the diameter of this part from here to here, you can see the diameter of this part is equal to 62 mm. So I am inserting the symbol. So the diameter of the upper part is 64, the middle part is 62, and the lower part is equal to 76 mm. Now we will give the height of this threading, and the height of this threading as given in the question was equal to 64 mm. So we are giving the height of this threaded part Now the minor diameter of the thread was equal to height 64. So we are given the height as 64 mm. Now we will draw the top view of this locating peg. Now this is a cylindrical part. The entire locating peg is cylindrical in nature. So the top view will be circles. So if we observe this locating peg from the top, first we will observe a circle of diameter 64, and this will be a visible circle. But the circle which is of diameter 62 will not be visible since it is lying below the larger diameter part that is of diameter 64. So the diameter 62 or the circle which will be of diameter 62 in the top view will be a hidden circle since it will not be visible from the top. But the largest diameter again which is of 76 mm will be visible from the top since this is the largest part. So the circle which will represent the top view of this largest part that is diameter 76 will be a visible circle. So we have to draw a dark circle for this lower part. So two dark circles will be drawn. First dark circle will be drawn for first part of diameter 64. Second dark circle will be drawn for the second part, that is lower part of diameter 76. Whereas the middle part which is of diameter 62 will not be visible from the top. So we have to draw a hidden circle for the middle part. Now we will draw the top view one by one. So first we will draw the center line. You can see I am drawing the center line. So this is the center, just the extension of this line. Do just extend this line. So I have extended. Now we will draw the horizontal center line. Till now I have drawn vertical center line. Now I am drawing horizontal center line. Now the first circle that has to be drawn will be of diameter 76, and this will be visible from the top. You can see this 76 diameter is the largest diameter, and if we observe this locating point from the top, this part will be visible. So for this 76 diameter we have to draw a dark circle. So now we will draw a circle of diameter 76 mm, and this will be visible from the deep top. So 76 mm. Now in the next step we will draw a dark circle to represent this upper part, which will be of diameter 64 since it will be visible from the top. So now we will draw second circle. First I will give a diameter. This circle is of diameter 76. Now we will draw second circle which will be of diameter 64. Again we will give a dimension of this circle. You can see 64. Now in third step we will draw a hidden circle to represent the middle part, which is of diameter 62 mm since it will not be visible from the top. So we will draw a hidden circle of diameter 62 mm. So from this center we will draw a hidden circle of diameter 62 mm. With this point at the center, we have to draw a hidden circle of diameter 62 mm. So here we have drawn a hidden circle. You can see this is a hidden circle, and this will be of diameter 62 mm. You can see you have drawn a circle of diameter 62 mm. So here we have drawn three circles of diameter 76, 64 and 62. The circle with diameter 62 mm will not be visible, so it is drawn as a hidden circle. Now I am deleting these dimensions since we have already given it in the front view. Now in the next step we will draw the top view of this internal threading. Now this is the internal threading. If we observe this internal thread from the top, then this threading will not be visible. So we have to draw hidden circles to represent the major diameter and the minor diameter of the internal threading. So taking this as a center, we will draw first the major diameter of the minor diameter of the thread. Now the minor diameter of the thread will be equal, so the minor diameter of this thread Here we will give a dimension of the major diameter and minor diameter. You can see first point, major diameter is equal to 24 and the minor diameter of the thread is equal to 22 mm. So the minor diameter of this thread is equal to 22 mm, whereas the major diameter is equal to 24 mm. Now we will draw the top view of this major diameter and minor diameter. So the minor diameter, which is of diameter 20, minor diameter is equal to 22. So we will draw a circle of diameter 22 mm to represent the minor diameter, whereas the major diameter will be equal to 24. So we will draw here a circle of major diameter 24 mm. So you can see we have drawn two circles. One circle will represent the minor diameter of the thread and it will be equal to 22 mm. We can give a dimension here. So the internal circle will be of diameter 22 mm, whereas the outer circle which will represent the major diameter of the thread will be equal to 24 mm. So here we have drawn two circles to represent the major diameter and the minor diameter of the thread. Now since it is an internal threading, the internal circle will be dark and the external circle will be hidden since it will not be visible from the top. Since it, again I am repeating, since it is an internal threading, the internal circle will be drawn as a complete circle and dark circle since it will be visible from the top and of diameter 22, but the outer circle will not be visible since it is what internal threading, so it will be a hidden circle of diameter 24 mm. Again for representing the internal thread we use the symbolic representation, that is for internal thread the internal circle is complete whereas the external circle will be only 3/4, so we have to delete this 1/4 part of the circle. So now I am deleting the 1/4 part of the circle, that is the hidden circle which represents the major diameter. So now this is the top view of the internal thread of diameter, minor diameter 22 mm and the major diameter as 24 mm. And since for internal threading we will use a symbol or the representation, internal circle will be full and our external circle will be 3/4. Now in the next step what we will do, we will draw the top view of this holes or the top view of the hole which is provided for inserting the cap screw. Now this hole along with the threading will not be visible from the top since it lies at the bottom of the locating peg. Since this hole in which threading has been performed lies at the bottom of the locating peg, if we observe the peg from the top view, this hole will not be visible, so they will be drawn as the hidden circles. Now in order to draw the hidden circle, first we have to mark the center of the circles. So for marking the center, first we will extend this center line in the downward direction. So we will extend the center line here. You can see I have extended the center line. So this is the center line, this is the center line. Now with this point at the center we have to draw two circles and both the circle will be hidden. One circle will represent the major diameter of the threading and other circle will represent the minor diameter of the threading. Now here the major diameter was equal to 6 mm, the major diameter of this threading was equal to 6 mm whereas the minor diameter was equal to 4 mm. So in the top view we have to draw two circles and both will be hidden since they cannot be viewed from the top view. So we will draw two hidden circles, one of major diameter 6 mm and the second will be of minor diameter 4 mm. So we have drawn here two hidden circles which represents the major diameter and minor diameter of this threaded part, that is the threaded or the threaded hole provided for inserting the cap screw. Now these holes are present in three numbers. You can see from this question. In this question it was given, you can see here the locating peg. This is the locating peg and at the center threading was done for inserting this stud whereas at the bottom the threading in the hole was done for inserting the cap screw. Now you can see at the bottom three holes of similar dimensions are present. So we have to represent these three holes in the top view. Also you can see here, if we observe this locating peg from the top, that is from this direction, these three holes will not be visible. So all the three holes will be shown as hidden or dotted circles. So here also we have to show, in this part we have to show three holes. So this is the first hole. For drawing the second hole, first we have to mark the center of the hole. Now the center of the hole will be at an angle of 120 degree. So first we have to draw a line at 120 degree from the center. So you can see now this line is inclined at 120 degree with respect to horizontal. Now we will give the dimension. You can see here we will give the dimension. So the dimension between these two lines are at an angle of 120 degree with respect to each other. So first we have to draw the second center line at an angle of 120 degree. Again we will draw another line which will be at an angle of 120 degree in downward direction. Now you can see here, again this inclined line will be at an angle of 120 degree with respect to this horizontal line. Now you can see again this is 120 degree, and the angle between these two lines is also equal to 120 degree. So we can say that all three holes will be equally spaced at an angle of 120 degree. So first we have to mark the center of the remaining holes. So in order to mark the center, draw a long dash short dash line, that is center line, at an angle of 120 degree with respect to this horizontal, and same center line you have to draw on the downward side at an angle of 120 degree with respect to this horizontal. After drawing the lines at 120 degree, now we will locate the centers. In order to locate the center, first we have to draw the pitch circle. Now what is pitch circle? Pitch circle will be the circle passing through the center of all the holes. So you can see this is the center of the first hole. So I am drawing a circle that will pass through the center of the first hole. So from this point I will take a radius equal to the center of the first hole. So this is the pitch circle, that is the circle which will pass through the center of all the holes, that is the three holes. So now we can easily locate the centers of the remaining hole. So this point will be the center of the second hole, whereas this point will be the center of the third hole. Now we will draw the holes or the top view of the holes. So the first hole will be of diameter, hidden circle of diameter 6 mm, and the second hole will be a circle of diameter 4 mm. Again we will repeat here same. The first hole will be of diameter 6 mm and the second hole will be of diameter 4 mm. So we have drawn three identical holes with major diameter as 4 mm and minor diameter as 3 mm, and these are the top view of this hole. So finally we have completed the sectional front view. This is the sectional front view, and this is the top view of the second part, that is the locating peg. Here I am writing this will be the top view of the locating peg. So we have completed the sectional front view and the top view. Now we can give here the dimension also. We will give the major diameter and minor diameter of the thread. So you can see I will give the major diameter first is 6 mm, and then we will give the minor diameter of the thread, that is equal to 4 mm. So the major diameter of the threaded part at the bottom of the locating peg is equal to 6 mm, whereas the minor diameter is equal to 4 mm, whereas the major and minor diameter of this upper threaded part, threaded hole, is equal to 24 and 22 mm respectively. So finally we have completed the sectional front view and top view of the second part, that is the locating peg.